there's shit to do in Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong, but everything is way more in the gravitational wise feeling of the game, like how you feel. It's God of War got better like quests and shit that make you feel like yeah, this shit is where it's at. Like it's not like
I don't agree with that.
well, no, I'm not. Oh, I just dropped my phone hard as fuck. I'm
If
talking
you
about
actually
like
did quest in Elden Ring and
well,
got through
100% I
them,
did.
and you were into the lore, like I watched a whole like hour and a half video on
That's just
like
nigga
the
Jake,
real
you know.
story, like the real story about Elden Ring and the lore behind it, and like that shit honestly almost made me cry, niggas, seeing all the fucking like terrible shit that happened to niggas and why they were the way they were, and like I'm over here smoking these bosses, talking shit to them, like suck my dick, nigga. And now I realize, like, hold on, this nigga had a terrible ass childhood. Like the way the nigga grew up, nobody fucked with him. The only people that fucked with him was the other bosses that I killed. They ended up turning their back on him and they almost killed him. That's why he
You talk
looks
about
like
Radix, or
this
you talk
and
about
looks
fucking
all like I learned a lot of shit about the niggas, and it made me realize, like, damn, bro, like there's more to this game. So then when I started to do side quests, and I learned about that the one bitch where I ended up killing her father, or her father's, like, you either can kill her father, or you either can kill her father and get his sword and shit that's already like level +8 or some shit at the castle, where it's where you get that big ass like gut sword, but instead of it being the regular gut sword, it's the sword that has mad little pipes and swords into it. And it's where you kill that beast nigga, where like you're at the beach and shit. It's basically at the bottom of the Weeping Peninsula, that castle, and you kill that nigga, which is like the great sword. It's like that one great sword you get. It's not that good, it's slow, but it's a big ass great sword with like mad little swords like in it. And that bitch, if you do her quest line, she fucking she talks about how like if you go through her quest line, she talks about how these people, she asks for shabriri grapes, and they're so good, they're tasteful, and she can't see. All what happens is she doesn't see. All she hears is that, buddy, oh, are you there? And somebody's like, yeah, and it's the enemies that you be killing in Elden Ring, the enemies where you walk around and they're just sitting there somewhere and you end up fighting them and killing them. It's the little basic enemies, the little easy ones where you can one hit them. But for me, they walk up to her and she asks for shabriri grapes, and like she just seconds later, they to me put in her hand shabriri grapes, either one or two of them, and then they'll just walk
story in
off.
Elden Ring is fire,
And then she realized, because somebody told her that shabriri grapes are eyes. You're eating eyeballs. They're not actual like grapes. You're eating eyes. So it took her like 2 seconds, and then she was like, wait. So the times that people were screaming right in front of my face, they were ripping their eyes out to give them to me, and then they would just walk away like nothing happened, and then like the nigga was like, yeah, basically that's what was going on. And then she started to like gag almost, but then she started to think about it, and she was like, well, they are really good. So she ended up keep doing it. Like she felt bad at first because they were doing that, but she would keep asking for the shabriri grapes and shit. And it's like I feel like shit like that shit pulled me into the lore, because I'm like, damn, bro, this bitch was really like, damn, like and then I ended up helping her out to the point where like she became like on my team. And for me, I ended up like helping her to the point where she wasn't blind anymore and she could see, but the only way she could see is because of the frenzied flame, because she kept eating the eyes, and they kept like, as she would eat it, she had like this burning sensation in her eyes, even though she couldn't see out of her eyes. But since she kept eating the shabriri grapes, she ended up able to see again, because they were like giving her like power back to her eyes almost. So that shit was like crazy when I was finding that shit out, and that was only one of like the beginning quest, like one of the easy ones. But like, bro, you're telling me you did Alexander's quest, the jar nigga, bro?
Yeah,
You're telling me when he was sitting there on his side after you killed him, because like bro, nigga, I didn't know what his quest really was. I knew how to get his shard, and that was by doing his quest. And I never seen somebody actually do his quest. Like, anytime I watched a speed run and they talked about the shard, they just said how they got it. You know, they said, oh, I can kill him right now and get it, or I can wait later in the game and get it. I never knew that later in the game you still had to fucking kill him. So I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna kill him. Like, I want his shard to use
I did
as a
after he
talisman, but
basically
I
said
don't
he
want to
ran.
kill him. So I go to Crumbling Fair Missoula. Like, you're obviously a strong like a strong individual, even though we're friends and shit. I just felt like you were always doing more in these boss fights. And, you know, he's talking to me and shit. And he's like, listen, I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior at heart, and I know you're a strong foe because me and you we smoked Radon, and you did
Nah,
most
if
of the
you
work.
talk to him after
We smoked
Radon,
Fire Giant. He even said
he
yeah, I
said
know,
he
but
got cracked and ran.
he even said yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. He says that he's a warrior and he felt embarrassed because he got like cracked like off of a hit that wasn't even that big of a deal, and he ended up running, and he's a warrior, so he took that like offensive, like he took that as an offense, and he got embarrassed by it, and he wanted to get stronger, so he was eating the corpses and shit to get stronger so he wouldn't get cracked like that. But basically the nigga was saying, like, he was mentioning that shit, like, especially because the only way you can get to Farum Azula, Crumbling Farum Azula, is by killing Fire Giants. So the first thing he says when you pull up is, you beat that god, and all of a sudden you're basically, your character don't say nothing, which is honestly stupid to me. I feel like they should have added in voices like they did for, but not just like voices of like dying and shit. Like when you die or get hit, that's the only time your voice activates. I feel like they should have made it how Sekiro is and shit. Instead of having a main character, they should have made it. Yeah, you talk back to him, and you don't just sit there and have them be like, oh, so this is what you do, and then you skip it, and they're like, okay, I understand that. Like, bro, my nigga didn't talk. How do you understand something he didn't say? Like, he didn't say nothing and shit. That's why I feel like, feel me, they could have made it a little better, but feel me, shit like that. Like, he's saying like, yo, you killed that god. Well, and then right after that, he was like, well, yeah, that makes sense. The only person that could kill him would be you, especially after what happened with Radon and all that shit. So, feel me, the nigga knows I killed Fire Giant without him. I didn't kill Fire Giant like I had all the fucking summons like Radon. Feel me, so Radon, I summoned him mad at them because of the festive. So he knows that I smoked Radon because I fought with him. But you can also summon him in the Fire Giant fight. But it's so stupid to do that because then you can't ride your horse. So you can either use your Mimic and summon him and have it be a 3v1 without your horse, which you honestly really need your horse for that fight because he keeps rolling away or he does attacks where it's just better to be on your horse. So I never summoned the nigga because you couldn't use your, and you could dodge like some of his attacks way easier on a horse instead of having to actually dodge the attacks or run away from them. You could just hop on your horse and dip. So, feel me, and even in the beginning of the fight, when he does that one, like, shovel move where he shovels all the snow at you, you can't get on your horse right there when you summon Alexander, so you're basically fucked. Like, you gotta just bait out that attack and run, like, watch out, run out the way, and that shit was like, I had a lot of health, but if I didn't, that shit would just one-shot me like it was doing to Jev, so I was like, fuck that, bro, I'm not summoning this nigga. So he didn't even know that I beat him because I never beat the nigga with him. So when I got there, he was just talking about, oh, you killed like the god that everyone calls a god because he's a big ass giant and he's a fire giant. So then he was basically just talking like, yo, like if I go out, I want to go out by somebody that's strong and that like deserves to kill me almost. And he was basically giving you the hint that like he wants to fight you to the death, and he doesn't care if you kill him or whatever, because as long as it's a strong foe that he lost to, that's all that matters, because he's a warrior at heart. So, bro, I'm thinking like, alright, you know, this nigga's talking up a storm. He's gonna end up just giving me the shard, because this is where people say that his quest ends. And then I'm like, oh, this nigga wants to fight. I'm not thinking like, feel me, I'm really gonna have to kill the nigga. Like, I'm thinking that's what they're like saying. But when I get the nigga low, he's gonna be like, alright, I get it. Feel me, you're strong. I don't want to die. Bro, this nigga was leaning on his side, reaching out with his shaking hand, and I'm thinking like, yo, bro, this nigga like is not doing that good. Like, bro, when that nigga exploded, I just sat there for like a good couple minutes, like, nah, bro, I didn't just kill this nigga. Like he
I
was
feel bad
trying
about
his
killing some of the
like
niggas in the game, to
like
be
bro,
honest with
that
you.
nigga was trying his ass off, bro. That nigga was trying his ass off to do the tiniest bit of damage to me, and I'm just sitting there, mink, 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 fucking
Down.
smoking them. And then what made me feel even worse was when I fucking found the nigga's nephew.
Oh yeah, the little bot that they added
Oh
in
my
recently.
god, I felt like an asshole. I said, "Yo, bro, this nigga's talking to me like, oh, can I at least have his brain or whatever the fuck it is. It was like the fluid inside of him. You give it to him. I was like, yo, I feel like shit that I just killed this nigga's uncle or family member, and this nigga just wants his blood or whatever. Like, I just killed this nigga and I got this nigga's blood and all he wants is that. Like, I feel like an asshole, bro. Like, that shit really bothered me, especially because I fought Radon with the nigga. I talked to the nigga while he was bathing in lava and feel me. I talked to the nigga, after the Radon fight and before it. I really got connected with this nigga, bro, just for me to like look like it was a friendly battle. You know, he was doing like a little bit of damage to me and I was just absolutely smoking him. And they do that shit on purpose, bro. They make it like mad streamers and YouTubers I've seen, they all wanted Alexander to be stronger. Like the niggas don't like how the end you have to fight him and kill him to get his shard, and he's not even a good fight. Like they make Alexander seem like this warrior,
Blade
this
was
big
a better
jar
fucking fight than him.
that'll just. You said what?
Blade.
Yeah, bro. Blide was a good ass fucking
Yeah,
fight.
that shit was stupid.
I didn't fight him my
stupid,
first.
bro.
I didn't fight him my first playthrough when I ended, because my first playthrough I, instead of doing the frenzied flame shit like I did in my second one, because like I was telling Ryan on my magic build right now, the one that I did the frenzied flame on, I didn't beat yet. I didn't get the frenzied flame ending yet because I still have to beat Elden Beast, and then after I beat Elden Beast I was gonna beat Melania, so I gotta do that still. And I was like, fuck it, I might do that tonight, but. All I gotta do is beat Elden Beast. That's the last boss I'm on. But then I was gonna beat Melania just to do it because I don't want to beat the game and not like New Game Plus or whatever and not beat Melania. So I gotta do that on my magic build. But basically, I did the ending with Ronnie, and since I did like since I got the curse mark of death or whatever the fuck it is, like. You know, Ronnie, basically, I summoned Ronnie after I got the Moonlight Sword and shit like that. I summoned Ronnie, and then I'm her lord now, so she takes orders from me, or she looks after me and shit, because I summoned her, and it wasn't Glide. Bro, tell me how this nigga was tight. Like, I was leaving Ronnie's rise, like, I was leaving her rise, and I heard this nigga, you know, talking outside on the steps, and I'm just like, yo, is that Glide? And he's like, how could this happen? All I did was look out for her and, you know, do everything she wanted, but now, like, basically he was, like, saying that, like, she stopped fucking with Glide, and now she looks after me and helps me out and takes orders from me, so he was tight about that, bro.
That's real life,
that
bitches
nigga
ain't
too.
shit.
But he was doing mad damage. Like, bro, he hit me with one swing from that sword. That shit did more than half health. I said, damn. That nigga fucking that nigga Alexander hit me like 3-4 times in a row, and they didn't even take a quarter of health. I was like, yo, these niggas disrespecting my son Alexander, bro. Alexander was really like this high, like this. He looked like this strong ass nigga that you get hit by one of them attacks that, bro, and his attacks were big. Like when he would do that jump and land, and that fire would come up, or he would do like that spin and like he would spin and punch. Fire would come from the nigga, and like as he's spinning, fire would come from the bottom, and then as he threw the punch, the fire would come up from the bottom and go through his go around his fist and come big wall of fire and shit. Like it was fire, bro. Like literally it was fire, but it was also just dope that like at the moveset this nigga had. But they nerfed this nigga so hard, like he barely thought, like they wanted you to kill him. Blide, it was like, alright, you're either gonna die by this nigga and not be able to kill him because he's just gonna keep smoking you, and you're just gonna leave because you don't want to fight him, or or you're gonna end up killing him because you're good. It's not like that with Alexander. It's like you're gonna kill him. You're just automatically gonna kill him because Blide, he don't give you. I think he might have gave you a talisman. I don't know.
Best shot of the game.
All he did was give you his armor and his sword. Like, and his armor was fire. Ain't gonna lie, that wolf head was dope. I was wearing that wolf head for like half the game for mad long. I got a couple screenshots with wearing that wolf head. That shit was just fire.
First time I beat the game was with that head on.
And it's sort of fucked up because like that's his actual head.
Yeah,
like I felt like when I was wearing it, I didn't think about it, but I was like, hold on, like this nigga, like Blyden wasn't wearing a wolf mask. This nigga was a wolf. So you're telling me I'm wearing this nigga's full head? Holy shit! Like that shit, I really had to think about that shit for a second. Like, damn.
You might not think that God of War has a better like culmination of story. In my opinion, I feel like it does because I played all 8 games. So in my opinion, it's better than Elden Ring. But for gameplay perspective and more weapon variety and like exploration, yeah, 110%. It's an RPG. Elden Ring wins. But like if you're talking about story wise, God of War wins. I'm sorry, bro. That shit is better, bro. Everything that has anything to do with
a better story, but you said side quest.
No, yeah, because
like
side quest
felt better to
you.
Like I just feel like there's more side quests in Elden Ring, but I feel like if you like I was saying, if you understood the lore, because there is a story behind Elden Ring. It's not like Elden Ring is just like, yo, you get in, you smoke these niggas. There's a story behind every boss and every fucking character.
Because I played that shit in the beginning, and I was heavy
but
when
you go through side quests and everything, and you're actually paying attention to who the character is and what you're helping them with and what you're trying to accomplish, like it really makes you think, like, hold on, I'm doing this side quest, and like you could be trying to be a good dude, but the side quest you're doing, you gotta do some dirty work, and you're thinking like, hold on, bro, I'm killing these innocent, yeah, they're enemies, but they're not even trying to attack me. They're just chilling in their domain and shit, not really doing much, but I'm infiltrating their area, smoking them, just because you want a piece of something, a piece of this, or a piece of like a very expensive, or not really expensive, but like everyone wants this because like it holds the key to all knowledge or something, shit like that. And you want me to kill all these niggas who have been protecting this book for thousands of years because it came from their people and shit, and you want me to just infiltrate? Like, it really makes you think, like, damn, bro, I'm playing the bad guy right now. Like, these niggas did nothing to us, but I'm helping this person.
Well, I'm gonna
with
wait
their
for you to
quest.
finish the game to ask you about your opinions on it, because you still haven't beaten God of War Ragnarök.
Yeah, but I'll never change the fact that, like, I feel like the side quest and shit, and the shit, like, not even just side quest alone. It's like, it's just the side shit, like the shit that wasn't needed to beat the game. Like, you could get through Elden Ring without completing a lot of the game. Like, you can get through a good amount of Elden Ring.
Going through the bosses.
You can, yeah, and barely seeing barely seeing half of the world and shit. Like, when you get to Atlas Plateau and you go to the Draconic Tree Sentinel, and then you go inside to the capital, to Lendale capital, you don't even have to fight. You don't have to go to Volcano Manor. You don't have to fight fucking Rykard and Femi, the Blasphemous Blade and shit. You don't have to fight the God-eating serpent and then Rykard, the Blasphemous Blade. You don't have to fight that nigga. You don't even have to go to Volcano Manor. You don't have to do none of that shit. You can go right into Atlas Plateau and run straight to the Draconic Tree Sentinel, and then go straight to fucking Gold Godfrey right after that, where basically it's just like the hologram of the nigga. You can just go right to that. You don't have to like do none of the side shit. But what I like about Elden Ring is it sort of like forces you to do some of the side shit, because it's like, oh, you want this weapon, or oh, you want this bell bearing? Well, you have to go in this cave, you have to verse this boss in the end of the cave, and you have to kill that boss, and then once you do all that, you'll be able to get the item and shit. So I like that. Like, it wasn't to the point where it's like, alright, you don't have to kill this boss, you can just go to the bottom of the cave and then pick up the item. Like, it wasn't just like you picked up bell bearings and shit. You had to actually kill certain niggas for them and, you know, put in the effort. So I like that, but still, I wish they made it so, like, there was more to it than just like, all right, well, there's caves all over that you can go into that honestly all look the fucking same, besides like 5 of them. But every cave you go in has the same type of layout, has the same type of like lore about them. Like there's no difference in the caves. Like some caves, like there was that one cave where there was like the shadow enemies, where there was like enemies that were painted all black almost, but if you brought them to the sunlight or where the light was shining through, then they could end up taking damage. Or there was like those certain rises where I could get the memory stones from, or like a spell if it was in there. Some of them, like I had to hit one of those weird creatures that you find in the cave that are like green and they look like goblins almost. And for me, those niggas, I had to hit one with a bewitching branch so it could kill the other one, or the one. Basically, I needed one of them to kill one of them, and I couldn't. I could just keep running around and killing the niggas, but it wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't be able to unlock it and complete the puzzle. But one of them, I had to hit with a bewitching branch just to get into there. So I feel like there's just way more to do in that game than there was in God of War. Like God of War, because like I said, I've watched it, I've seen a good amount of it, and I just started playing it. But with Elden Ring, there was mad different types of puzzles you had to do to get into certain areas. So there's items that you wouldn't even touch in Elden Ring. But then you come across this rise or this area, like I don't know if this bridge, and it's broken. Like it goes out a little bit, like a quarter of the way, and then it's just disappeared. It's not there. But if you actually go on that bridge and like keep walking off of the edge, you'll walk on an invisible bridge, and the only way to get into the certain rise and get into this like complete the puzzle almost was by going all the way down the bridge and then using rainbow stones to find where like the invisible staircase is leading up to the back of the rise. So basically I had to look at where like messages and shit were, and then once I found the staircase path, I just kept throwing rainbow stones. I mean, I climbed straight up all the way until the turn. Once I seen that, like, alright, I can't keep going straight, I have to turn, I had to find where the turn was. I didn't want to keep going all the way and then go where I can't no more and then hit the turn and then fall, because that's not where the turn was. It was a little farther back. So I would go. I got all the way down the bridge. I took the left to then start walking up the invisible stairs, and then I just kept throwing rainbow stones. I have never used rainbow stones. I've always picked them up and looked at them like, why the fuck would I ever use these just glowing stones? You really think I don't know my way around, especially when there's a map telling you where the shit is and where, like, I'm never gonna need rainbow stones. Like Bloodborne, I found the use for shining coins, especially in like the Forbidden Woods, where I like half the time you're like going in circles or some shit. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna throw down these shining coins because they're gonna tell me that, alright, I've been here, or because I have shining coins down. So that's why I used them in there. But rainbow stones, I was like, bro, there's a fucking map. Like, it's not hard to memorize the map either. Like I played Elden Ring for the first week. I already knew like where shit was. I didn't need to look at the map to understand that I gotta go this way and that way to get here. Like, it was just easy to learn the shit compared to like Bloodborne and it being so dark. But like, I never used rainbow stones, but right there I put them shits to use, and I used like 10 or 15 of them shits because I just kept throwing them until I found the pathway. And that,
you know,
right
you could
there,
also slightly see where the path was.
Yeah, but like right there, I'm not in combat, I'm not beating a boss, I'm not fighting anything, but I'm still enjoying it just as much as I would if I was fighting a boss, because like I found out, like, because bro, I was thinking, how the fuck do you get into this rise? Like, there's no way to get into it. There's a block, it doesn't tell you how to, but what it does tell you, and what it did say, is look at where the snow falls or something. So then I seen messages floating. I seen messages just floating. So I'm like, yo, let me go around. For me, I said, like, because I was on the other side of the bridge, like in front of the rise, but you needed to be behind the rise on the other side where the bridge starts in order to get to the back of the rise. So I was like, you know what, let me spawn at this race and then Femi run up top, go on the bridge, and then like I seen the messages floating where the bridge should be. So I was like, all right, let me see, Femi, if I could run to these messages. So I could run all across, Femi, all across, all the way. So I was like, all right, there obviously is like an invisible bridge here almost. And when I first hopped on it, I thought it just didn't load in. Like, when I first seen the messages there, I was like, yo, that bridge is not loading in, but I think that's where I gotta go. Once I pulled up to it and was right in front of it, I'm like, yo, this shit still didn't load in. But then once I started reading the messages and shit, I said, oh no, this is how the game is supposed to be. Like, there's just, like, the bridge is here, it's invisible. So, feel me, once I started going through this shit and I looked and, feel me, was throwing rainbow stones, and I was even setting my own messages because there was no messages on the stairs leading up to the back of the rise. It was only on the bridge. So I was like, you know what, let me leave like 3 messages on here and help these niggas out. So I left a message like right where the stairs were starting, like but a little up. So niggas knew to walk right to that message and they were good. And then I put a message right before the turn, or right where the turn was. So when niggas would see the second message, they would look up, see my third message, and it would be they would see my third message, and it would be, what is it called? They would see my third message and see that it was right up there, and it was like all they gotta do is go straight up and they got it.
God of War Ragnarok was a good conclusion, but God of War 3 was a better game.
Did you miss me?
Only because it's literally the end of the Pantheon era and everything goes fucking retarded, bro.
The blades of exile will serve you well, Kratos. Use them to call forth the spirits of your exiled Spartan brothers.
Fuck out of here, you bitch ass nigga. Send your dog. Oh, there's no dog. I gotta go to you first for the. I love God of War 3, bro. Like, I just love God of War, bro. I love Dark Souls and I love God of War, bro. I beat every Dark Souls game and every Dark Souls spin-off type game, like Souls-like game that they've dropped from FromSoft. And honestly, I can't choose. They were all really good. But God of War is the only one that really got me through a lot of bullshit in my life, so. That's why I hold this game in such a high regard. And plus, it's not like it's just like a guilty pleasure type
Yeah, I know that feeling with like certain games or certain like shows and stuff. Like certain anime shows got me through like a really depressed time in my life or a really dark spot in my life. So when people always ask me how I feel like about a certain, like about that certain anime or something, I always hold that shit higher than other ones because I'm like, listen, I was watching other ones.
Full Metal Alchemist
like,
is a better anime.
I was watching other ones while I was going through the dark time, but that specific one literally pulled me out of that hole. Like I was just sitting there, just not like I was deep in a hole. I felt like I was digging myself farther, but then boom, I was playing this game or watching this anime, and that shit pulled me out. I just felt a lot better when I watched it. It helped me motivate myself and get through. So people ask me like, yo, what anime's better, this one or this one? And I always like if they mention the one that pulled me out of that dark place, I'll always put that one first. And they're like, what? And I'm like, bro, there's a certain reason on why I'm putting that one over the other one, and you just wouldn't know. And I don't care to explain it to you because I don't need to tell you that I was in a dark place. But just know that anime definitely holds a bigger spot in my heart than just like the other anime that the nigga mentioned or something. Or if it's like 2 animes that both helped me out in life, like got me over a breakup or got me over like a heartbreak or got me over feeling down and depressed, I'll deadass be like, I can't pick, bro. Both of them are really good. Like, them shits both helped me out.
Get off me, you big.
But I feel like certain games and fucking like shows and like just anything, certain movies, shows, games, whatever it is, even if it's like a board game or some shit, or even a person, certain people that help you get through like a tough time in your life will always like, you'll always do shit for them or feel better for them or like go out of your way for them or do more shit for them than you would for anybody else.
Bitch, come here, bro. Get off of me, bro. I'm about to use your head to freeze all of these niggas, and then I'm gonna violate every single one that's frozen in stone. Come here, nigga. Give me your head. Slam.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been working on not socializing with people as much and just like try and just do me. Because then once I get my V and once I, feel me, get my own crib and shit, I know like once you start having more money for people to like use you for it instead of it just being like, when I tell niggas like, yo, you wasn't around the past couple months, the past 6 months before I had my V, before I had my crib, and
That's
now
why I
you
be
want
so
to come pull
confused,
up
bro.
and
Cause
get high with me.
I really
Nah.
be with niggas, even when they.
But
Broke.
that's why you
when.
gotta, like, for me, I'm gonna stop socializing. Like, I'm not gonna be that flays nigga that's gonna socialize with niggas, and then when I get my crib and my car and shit, I'm gonna
Forget
stop
the niggas
fucking
that
with a
are
lot of
there for you
people.
and shit.
And yeah, and like I'm not gonna chill with the niggas that was walking with me when none of us had a car, or that was sliding on me when they had a V and I didn't have one. I'm not gonna be that type of nigga. But as of right now, niggas haven't been hitting me, haven't been talking to me like that, haven't been. So like, it's not like when I start getting my shit, I'm gonna have to be like, alright, bro, you really looked out for me when I was down and shit. So like, for me, like, I don't gotta worry about looking out for niggas. I don't gotta worry about if a nigga asks me for a ride. I don't feel obligated to give no nigga a ride or to slide on no nigga, because no nigga was sliding on me or giving me a ride. So, like, and it's the fact that I stopped asking niggas for anything, bro. There's no nigga that I've been asking for anything, and that's why if niggas try and, for me, ask me for shit, I'm not gonna feel bad saying no, because, bro, was I asking you? Or what happened when I did ask you? Niggas asked me, yo, could you bring me to this lick? And I'm like, well, what happened when for me, I had to wait 2-3 days to get paid because I ain't have no more cash to cop weed on me besides the shit in my savings. But like I said, I don't touch that shit. So for me, did you look out for me when I just wanted a dub or an eighth or even just something to smoke? Like if I asked you to roll me up, did you? No, nigga, you ignored me. So I'm gonna do the same shit you did to me, and I'm gonna ignore you.
Yo, Jake. So I'm not going to the city, so I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna grab you the cherries. Arizona, amigo. Migo. Migo. Remo. Wait, so what happened with JoJo? She untagged herself and put her notifications on silent. And what? Yeah, you texted me and I woke up from my nap and I seen that shit. I was like, what the fuck? I kind of assumed that was gonna happen anyways because she lived in the city.
What
I tried
happened?
to tell you. She lived in Jersey, nigga. It's basically damn near the same thing. Either way, that bitch be out there partying and shit. You can't trust a bitch that be out there doing that shit. No, she wanna fuck with you, but she wanted the sneaky link, and now that she's back home and you're nowhere to be seen, she wants her ex. That's how it. That's how it usually is. Just hit up Sequoia and then send her all the screenshots of you telling her you love her. But then when she asks you if you want to get back together, tell her you can go. She can go fuck herself. Just do it just for the clout.
Wait, what happened? So, is Sequoia trying to talk to you again?
Oh, you be an asshole. You ain't share shit. You be saying shit. But give him a cherry though. Try to tell me to shut up, and I'm trying to get you a cherry still. I've been spending time with these niggas almost all day.
My favorite move is the stab through the neck.
Nah, you ain't chopped liver, nigga. You just doing my brother hair, and I'm trying to hear him scream right now, bro. Wait until you start to get to the part where you have to pull his scalp a little bit.
Are you serious? Are you fucking serious, bro? I swear to God, in FromSoft games, they always make the niggas with the bows and with the fucking, like, those weapons just way more annoying. I love the resurrect shit, though. Like,
Yo.
I don't be dying a lot, so when I do die, I always have a resurrect, so I just, resurrect, I'm here.
Yo, Jake, remember when I first got Sekiro, bro? Remember when they first announced it and I was sitting there fucking geeked out because it was a Japanese Souls-like game that was focused on a narrative? That shit was fire. I love that game.
Dude, the combat is
I'm happy you got it, though.
Like, I'm just sitting there fucking deflecting.
Nah, I'm talking about Jose because I've been telling him to get it for a minute, low-key. Like, since I gave him my account. Nigga that went to download Ragnarok, I've seen it in my categories. He was like, oh shit. He was like, oh shit.
Cause I've been meant to fucking download this shit.
It was crazy when you told me you ain't play that shit, bro. That's why I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, I really play like every other fucking FromSoft besides Sekiro. That's because I didn't even know, I didn't know Sekiro was a FromSoft game. That's why I never played it.
I be following their whole studio, so I know what's gonna drop and when it drops because I like their game.
I just thought it was some type of fucking Japanese fighting game, especially because when I seen, bro, the main reason I didn't think it was a FromSoft game is because when I seen video clips of it and I seen the combat, I was like, oh, that looks pretty dope. But like, it didn't cross my mind that it's FromSoft. I'm thinking like, alright, you know, it's some type of Japanese game or whatever, but it's not. Like, I'm not thinking it's a FromSoft game, especially because when you fucking look at it and shit, it's fucking
dun, dun, dun.
Like I said, the combat and shit is crazy, bro. Like, this shit is fire. Ooh, Gokhan shit. I love how they always have like buffs and shit in these games.
Come here, you ugly ass dog. I'm about to get on your back and make you do my dirty work. Dirty ass skin like, dog. Come here.
That looks like a certain area or something. We burn in this temple, next boss. No, leave it. Go on to the next one. I love how you can eavesdrop.
Nigga. I only
shit too.
do what I feel is necessary, you ugly fuck. Yeah, I'm about to cut these niggas' heads off and I'm gonna stab the other one in the middle. Pussy?
I remember when I was young, dude, like 10 years old, and I used to play like the first fucking God of Wars and shit, dude. Those were like that was when Kratos didn't look like a fucking big ass beast.
Didn't look
he
like a
was
fucking.
literally-
He was still a
Bro,
tank, but he didn't look like a tank.
He was a
like
tank,
did
but
in
he
the
was
game.
literally like a regular nigga, bro. Like you looked at him, he had a little bit of girth on him and shit, like muscle. But bro, his muscles weren't fucking huge. Like even he didn't even have a beard. The old
He had a
Kratos had
goatee.
no beard. Yeah, a goatee, not a beard. Like he has a full grown.
But then
beard,
he was also
bro.
in his. He was also in his what was it? In his late.
He was
30s.
young as. But yeah, he was young as fuck, bro.
Imagine having your family when you're like 20 fucking 5, bro. You know what else also fucked my head up a little bit? Did you know that Kratos' wife and child were basically his aunt? Like his wife was his aunt.
Sort of.
Yeah, because ancient Greece, them niggas used to be on some weird shit, but like it was back in the day, so I kind of understand. Like them niggas was all on some incest shit back in the day.
Because
But
incest wasn't a law. It wasn't like nothing.
no,
was
they
wrong
just
with
they
it.
wanted to keep it in the
didn't
bloodline
even,
type shit.
Yeah, and they didn't even know that like it would make your babies retarded and shit. Like they didn't realize that. Like
That's
there's
why a bunch of niggas were
a
gimps,
big-
special ed and shit, missing chromosomes.
Like, bro, like, if I had a kid with somebody in my family with the same blood as me and shit, like, same DNA almost, like, it could really fuck up how that
I
baby
mean,
comes
I'm gonna sound
out.
crazy, but I don't give a
But-
fuck, bro. My aunt got a fat ass, so I mean, I wouldn't like, listen.
Bro,
like,
you know what's weird? Is, like, on my dad's side, on my dad's side, I can't. I mean, unless it's like a distant cousin, like one of my second cousins, or a cousin that I don't really know
nah,
about
just
on
a
my
family
dad's
member you
side.
never met
I have,
before,
like,
and you meet
I
them and
have
they
like
say
one
they're your
cousin.
aunt.
No, I've met this cousin before, and I swear to God.
Oh no, I met a few of my cousins that I'm like, yo, you're kind of
because
bugging,
I don't know
but
her
like,
like
listen.
that. But no, on my mom's side, my mom's side's the white side, and I
Maybe
told
we
you
just
I
need to
have-
stop talking
I
because
have
this
a thing for
conversation
white
getting a little
girls.
bit iffy,
But
and I'm
like
on
I have
fucking
a thing
stream.
for white girls, bro. But like I don't fuck. Who's watching it? No one. Yeah.
Moody gonna watch it and be like, you niggas is wild.
Yeah, that nigga Moody be on the same time, so I don't give a fuck. But nah, bro, I have these white cousins, and there was always this white cousin that was like a couple years older than me, and I've hung out with her a good amount of times. I knew all that shit, but bro, like
Yeah, Jake, you know you
but,
would
like,
fuck your aunt, bro. Stop playing
but
with
like,
me.
bro, I seen. But but like, I always thought about it, and I'm like, yo, it's wrong, right? Like, it's wrong. It's not something.
Well,
I
yeah,
could
it's
bring
not socially
myself to
acceptable no
do.
more.
Like, it's just not something I could bring myself to do. So, like, I never thought of it, like, really doing it or nothing. But I always thought one of my cousins on my mom's side was really cute, bro. Especially when she was, like, this small white girl. She was always older than me, too. Like, when she was 16, I was, like, fucking 13, 12. So, and even when I see her now, like, on Facebook and shit, I'm like, yeah, bro, like, this bitch is just cute. Like, I don't care if he's my cousin, I'll be honest. Like, I mean, I'll call my cousins that live right down the street from me, that I'm really, really close with. Like, I knew since I was mad young, and I grew up with them. Like, I
Go grab
thought them
Coke
cute,
before I
too,
get
because
over
they are good looking, but I don't have no type of feelings for them. And it's the same
But
thing
if we were
with
back in the
with that
1890s,
cousin
niggas would
on
have
my
dead ass
mom's
been like, yo,
side.
I'm about to fuck
Oh
this
no,
bitch.
I would have dropped on a couple of my cousins already, bro. Niggas have been like, yo, your cousin's cute. I'm like, yeah, I already dumped. They're like, oh, you fucked, yeah.
Niggas be like, good
feel me?
shit, bro. Like, what?
But yeah, word, they would have congratulated me like, damn. Bro, I've been
Nowadays,
trying to
you
fuck
look at
for a
that shit,
minute, and
bro.
it's like,
Nowadays,
nah,
you
bro,
look at
it
that
was
shit, it's like,
easy. I just
yo.
had a sleepover. Nah, word. You look at it now, and you're like, what the fuck, bro? But I like you said, a family member you never met, bro. I have aunts and certain cousins on my mom's side that I've literally I can say I met one time, but I never really met because I was young. I was like 9, 10 years old. They were like fucking in there, like just turned 20 or 19 or even just hitting 17, 18. So they were like 8 years, 10, like almost 10 years older than me, and I never had a normal conversation with them. Like when they would come over, the younger cousins, that's who I would talk to, or that's who I would be cool with and shit. But like bro, my mom's sister, her name is Rachel. She has two kids, a guy and a daughter, and the daughter is younger than the boy, but the boy is only a year or two older. Basically, how me and my sister are, how she's older than me by like a year and a half, 2 years. So when she's 22, I'm 20, like right now, and she's turning 23 December 15th, and I'm gonna turn 21 May 9th. So we're always 2 years apart. Like, I mean, we are 3 years apart. Like, when her birthday comes up, we'll be 3 years apart. I'm 20, she'll be 23. But then once my birthday comes in 5 months after hers, then it's only 2 years apart. So I always tell people we're 2 years apart. And I don't really explain it like, oh yeah, 3 years apart, but then when my birthday comes 2 years. So I just be like 2 years. So for me, they're the same way. But the boy is 22 and the girl is, 19, 20. But they're like 2-3 years apart, just like me and my sister. But the girl, bro, I always thought about it, and I'm like, listen, I don't know how close we are, like, related by blood and shit, but if she ever came on to me, like, I always thought about how hard it would be for me to say no. Like, knowing that, like, she's bad, bro, she's cute, she's a white girl with a nice body, especially because her mom, my aunt, her ass is fat,
bro. I said the same thing. Listen,
bro, and she's a white girl, like, she's an old chick, she's like in her 40s, almost 50s, and she's white, bro. Like, white, but when she wears them light blue jeans and shit, her ass is so wide and it has shape to it. Like, she's not one of them white girls that got a fat ass.
Bro, imagine Kratos sending you to the afterlife
like,
and then you fall in front of him and he kills you again, bro. Yo, like, like half of these niggas that are falling down into the underworld, I sent there because I killed Poseidon. So all of them niggas is falling from fucking me killing them, and then they're landing there, and I'm still killing them anyway.
But now, what you were saying though about a family member, like if I met one of my family members that I didn't know was a family member, and they were cute, like that one cousin I was talking to you about, and I started flirting with her, and she was flirting with me, and then we ended up fucking. I'm not gonna lie, bro. We already fucked. So once niggas tell me, oh, that's your cousin, I'm gonna be like, well, is it gonna hurt to fuck her again? No, I already, like, we already fucked. They'd be like, the dirt is done. Like, the dirty deed is done. We already sinned. We can't fucking cleanse it.
I mean, it's not really sinning, because back in the day, the niggas are still doing it, so it's just the real right Catholic way to do things.
I'm just saying it as, like, bro, we already did the dirty work. You know what I mean? Like, we already
Jake,
did
shut
the
up,
dirty
bro.
work,
You know, if you
bro.
was back in the fucking
that's why
Game of Thrones
I'm just ignoring
time,
this nigga, bro. Because one,
Game
I
of
could really
Thrones
hear him, but
time,
two,
bro,
he'd
would've
be the one to
dumped her fucking
he'd be the first
your load
nigga
on
to
her
do it.
cheeks.
Just look at the bitches he fucks with. You really think he wouldn't fuck his cousin?
Bro, you're telling me now, bro, that if you were back in the day of Game of Thrones where they were fucking their cousins and uncles, bro, you're telling me you're not gonna be doing it. You're bugging. You're a royal line. Wait, time out.
Listen,
so say
bro,
you're a royal
Jake,
line, bro.
The girls you fuck with, bro, automatically gives off that vibe, bro.
Give up, I fuck my brother.
I do, though, so you're wrong right there. I do know who you're fucking with. Listen, the newest bitch you've been fucking with, I'm gonna be honest, she's ugly. I seen her, bro, she's ugly. I'm not gonna lie, I seen the bitches you fuck with. They don't be that good.
Nah, I'll give him a few because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Some of them bitches, bro. I'm gonna just hear me out.
But that's what I'm saying. The bitches I've seen, like y'all seen the bitches I've fucked. I don't know about Jake, but you've seen the bitches I've fucked and fucked with. You know, I got good kills all the way through. But nah, I'll admit, bro, some of my kills, like I told you about, I was a little too fucked up off the E's or a little too booted, and I ended up linking a bitch that, wasn't, like, my type of taste, but she was just handing pussy out to me, and she don't normally hand it out, so I'm like, yo, it gotta be good. And it was good, but it just, like, it wasn't my type of bitch. Like, I fucked a little Mexican bitch, and she had, like a box body. Like, her waist was like from her torso, like from her titties down, she had fat ass titties, and her nipples was pierced, so it was fire. But like her ass didn't really have shape to it. Like it went from her back, and then like her ass had that little like roundness to it. Like, it came out, but like her waist was it was like a box. Like it went straight down. Like if you looked at her from the forward view or from the side without her clothes on, like bro, clothes gives bitches shapes. If you ever see a bitch with tight ass
it's just because they want to show they curves that they don't have.